Oh yeah, I love it. Like I got told about it when I got to the TV that day. I didn't quite know what was going on. Obviously, I was a singles babyface in NXT when I was champion there, and I came back and I was going to be leaning towards more the heel side with Dolph or Dolph somebody I go way back with, and I was really looking forward to working with them. And like you say, the way things have gone thus far, people are asking a lot of questions. A lot of people are jumping way ahead, and I appreciate all the positive things everybody's saying, but let's just remember there's 52 weeks of TV a year. Let's just take our time, introduce the casual audience who Drew McIntyre is now, and trust me, we're going to get there. It's going to be a fun journey.
Well, not unlike any other pro sports endeavor or entertainment entity, it's a game of what have you done for me lately. Nobody really cares about remembering that you were. What were you, the U.S. champion or Intercontinental champion at one point?
Intercontinental champion and tag team champion.
That's not a throwaway, by the way. It's a pretty big deal. And tag champions, right? You're tag champion.
Yes, with Cody.
Yeah, so not a throwaway, but nobody wants to reminisce about Drew's time a decade ago. It's all about what's Drew going to do for me now. And I just see the opportunity is there's an interest in your character and your persona, and I think there's a curious thing because you're not being shoved down people's throats. You and Dolph are maximizing your minutes, just like you did this week on TV when you had the singles match with Gable, which I thought was a pretty good match. I think Gable might be being underutilized to some degree in the eyes of many, but I thought you guys had a real nice match, and both of you were better for your personas after it was over.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. And, Chad is a great performer with so much potential. And here's the thing, everything's an opportunity. I see a lot of guys, seeing they've only got a few minutes and they think, well, what am I going to do in that? And I tell them every single moment you get at the show, anytime you get on Monday Night freaking Raw is an opportunity. You figure out the story, you tell that story no matter how much time you get. And I wanted to take that time to show that Chad has got some fire and some balls. We all know he can wrestle. He's what that Olympian wrestler. He's a fantastic wrestler. But the best baby faces can sell. They got fire and they got balls. And I told him, I ain't going to out-wrestle you. I said, I'm going to fight to get out of your wrestling. I'm not just going to reverse holds on you because you're an Olympian. When the time comes, I am going to smack you. And you better knock my dick into the dirt. I want to see some fire from you or I'm going to beat your ass. And he stepped up and I felt like we told the right story. He came across better for it, like you say, and I came across as dangerous. And that's the story we want to tell, and everyone needs to be thinking that way. If you get an opportunity on Raw, no matter what it is, don't blame creative. Don't sit there with the poo-poo face. You figure out the story and you tell the story, because there's other people waiting in NXT to take your spot if you're not willing to step up on Raw.
Well, I think your attitude is much needed, because here's the thing. You could not have said what you just said to me that you and Chad talked about when you were first at WWE. It wouldn't have gone over. He said, "Who are you, kid?"
100%.
Yeah. What have you done for us lately? Now that you've been there, you had accomplishments there. Things didn't go according to plan. Hey, that's happened to all of us. Not a big deal. There always, as long as there's tomorrow, it's not a big deal because you can resurrect in many things, relationships. How you eat, how you train, how you talk, how you walk, whole 9 yards, how you look. You can always change if you have the desire. And you had a great desire, and I think right now, I don't know how the locker room overall, there's some guys there that have had experiences, Drew, but, you never get too many leaders. You never get too many bull of the woods, as old Dusty would say, in your locker room. And do you see that this locker room has got those kind of guys in it to a degree, or is there room for more growth in that area?
Yeah, there are the guys, but there's certainly room for more growth. The things I'm saying, there's a lot of truth to what I'm saying, and that's probably why people are feeling them. That's probably why they're saying, when Drew talks, I can kind of feel it. It feels real. It's because I do believe a lot of what I'm saying. I did get released. It was the best thing that happened to me because I finally reignited that fire, that passion. I had to sink or swim, and I understand that Raw is the best show in the world. It's the best product in the world, as evidenced by the TV deals we're currently getting and the consistent ratings. We have the best talent in the world, but also we have 5 hours of Raw and SmackDown every week. And as good as a lot of it is, there's a lot of filler in there. There's a lot of guys just sitting around, just not, they don't have the passion. It's as simple as that. I can say it. because I was that guy. Before I got released, I was that guy. I'm disappointed in myself. I wasn't working my ass off to get to the top. I wasn't bettering myself in the gym. I wasn't pitching stories. I wasn't trying to be a better performer. And I think people forget that they're in WWE and they've become complacent, and it just, it makes me sick, because you've seen the independent scene right now. You know how much talent there is out there. I was the NXT champion. I know how much talent is there. They've got the fire in their eyes. They're ready to take those spots. And I'm there to make sure that the Monday Night Raw is all killer. We don't need any filler anymore. It all trickles down from the top. So like the whole industry, Monday Night Raw needs to be killer from top to bottom. And right now, there's room for improvement. And I'm there to be the wake-up call that it needs.
Do you have a better it's probably a loaded question, because I think I know the answer, and I think everybody else probably does too, based on what we're hearing. You obviously seem to have a much better relationship as far as communicating with the decision makers in the company now than you did on your first tenure. Am I right on that?
Oh, 100%. I was so nervous to go talk to, Mr. McMahon himself or Hunter or basically anybody. As I said, I was a kid. I felt like a kid. And I was so intimidated. I was a lifelong fan, and I was like, my goodness, I'm in WWE. I'm just happy to be here. I don't want to go and, stir the pot or ruffle any feathers. Now, as I say, I went away. I became a businessman. I built my business, and WWE brought my business in, and I want to be successful in my business and in turn make WWE successful. How do I do that if I don't have a relationship with the people in charge? It sounds so simple saying it, and hopefully any other guys in the roster are listening to me right now, because it took me a while to get there, but you have to start thinking this way. If you want to be in the top of the show, which you should, if you want to be champion, you need to look yourself in the mirror and be accountable. Are you giving everything you can? Are you try to build those relationships? Are you doing everything? And I can assure you a lot of people aren't. And I'm not going to be shy to start telling people as time goes on, because honestly, I've been in the locker room with the Undertakers, the Mysterios, Christians, even Ric Flair when I was 22. And I don't know if all of them would be happy the way the locker room is these days.
Really? That's interesting. Well, hey, societal changes are inevitable in every entity, in football, acting, movies, movie making, everything, including our business. There are things that are happening in our business that I'm not a fan of. It's not because they're not wearing wool tights, they're not wearing black short boots, or whatever. It's because I think that some of the talents are doing things that potentially have a distinct odds of shortening their careers. And I also think that there's so many indiscriminate bumps, especially those on the apron and those on the floor, in strong rotation, like if I was a disc jockey, the Rolling Stones are in strong rotation, or this guy's you got your stars. Well, these guys, some of them are taking too many bumps, in my opinion, because all of a sudden it's what have you done for me lately again? And can you do a bigger bump than that? Can you risk your life a little bit more fervently? I think that's a mistake with some of the boys, and they're taking shortcuts to get the crowd to quote unquote pop. Instead of wrestling for the pop, they're trampolining for the pop.
Yeah, and I can certainly agree with that. And I'm somebody who has taken a risk twice and gotten injured twice, like with my bicep. It's a move I probably shouldn't have done at my size, and it cost me dearly. And it will never happen again, I can assure you.
Well, I saw the last one. I saw the last one, and hey, look, what you did there, you didn't overthink anything. It's just it seemed to be routine-ish until you do the geometry. You're too damn big to do something.
The timing was off, and just the size difference. The timing had to be perfect, and because the timing didn't go perfect, I ended up with a torn bicep. That's what happened. I should have, thought it through or did something where I'm in control of my own body. But it is true. Like, people need to think, is this sensible to do? And I'm not saying a bit phoning it in, because I'm a big believer on live events and TV. I expect everyone to wrestle just as hard, no matter what show they're on. You've seen me in shows with a few hundred people or a couple of thousand people.
Yeah,
I wrestle just as hard in front of a couple of hundred as I do in front of WrestleMania. So you got to build those foundations. That's how we get the crowd back the next time, is working hard from start to finish. And that's what I'm talking about as well. But I say people, just not giving it their all. They're going to live events and they're phoning it in. Remember, we got to go back to that town. They remember who you are, and it's affecting the whole show. I expect them to bust their arse, but I don't expect them to be dangerous. And I also expect people to think before they tweet. That's the other thing about social media. As good as it is, as much as I used it to build my reputation outside of WWE, people are just affecting themselves. It drives me crazy. So they're believing all the positive comments, retweeting the positive comments, they're responding to trolls. Stop living in the fake world. Get back to reality and use it for what it's there for, is to promote your business.